What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. We're here on this Wednesday. It is a very nice day outside. Maybe I use the word nice with relativity because it's been so cold. Excuse me for eating, but it's nice to get a good breakfast. Actually, yesterday when I was doing my live, I talked about conversation that I had with a friend about where he asked me what would be my ideal morning routine. So I put some thought into that. I haven't written it out yet because I'm actually going to write that out. But really, I had it in my mind that in my ideal morning routine, I would do something that I literally have not done in months, which was to wake up, go to the gym, get my workout on, and then get something that I like for breakfast. Sounds like a very simple thing. Oh, he woke up and he exercised and he ate breakfast. But I haven't done that combination of things in months. Literally in months. I can't remember the last time I did that. I wasn't even eating breakfast, and I definitely wasn't going to the gym. First time in there since November. And something that little was uplifting. Well, I shouldn't say was because I'm still eating, but is uplifting. The gym portion of it, I felt good in the gym, and it felt good to get in a workout in the morning and to do something for me. Sure did. Hi Ma, hi Charicity. Hi Marshall. My morning routine is waking up, and sometimes I don't even do it in the morning. Well, apparently you do. Well, I guess you said you don't always do it in the morning, so. This is a phenomenal bagel, by the way. A phenomenal bagel. Okay, well, a few things I was going to say. Oh, man. There is this person who I very, very loosely at this point call a friend. Very loosely. And I've actually mentioned this person several times, but I always keep it generic. So nobody would know who that person is unless that person happened to view my live. And even then, I think certain people have really narcissistic traits, so they wouldn't even think it's about them. This person happened to reach out to me a few days ago to ask me how I'm doing. But asking me how I'm doing was not with the intent of knowing how I'm doing. It was like, I hope that you're good enough to do me a favor. And I have grown so tired of those type of people whose check-ins are always followed up by, this is what I need. I have so few people who are just like, I'm checking up on you to make sure you're good, and that's it. I can think of a few family members. I can think of my grandmother obviously is probably number one on that list. A cousin of mine, one of my cousins, a couple of friends on occasion. I really learned over the past 2 years that those people do not get full-time me anymore. And what that means is they're somewhere around my circle. Somebody once drew me a chart and was like, this is your inner circle. I can't remember exactly how it was, but it was something that he got from a book. It's like it showed the inner circle. It showed like the outer of your inner circle where people are kind of on the fringe of your inner circle, and then like a larger circle where people are in your surroundings but they're not really a part of your circle. Those are the will catch up from time to time. Yeah, I don't like that. Oh, leave it to Charicity to actually know what I was talking about. I didn't even read that book, to be honest with you, but he showed me a page in that book, and it was the circle of trust. Unless that's something that is not from that specific book and it's something that has existed, but circle of trust was the exact thing that I was talking about. So yeah, this person is on the outer part of that circle of trust, because they actually reached out to me a few days ago. Hey Mark, how's it going? I'm like, it's not going the greatest right now because of this, and this. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. You know, I'm here for you. Speaking of me being here for you, can you help me with this, and that, and this? And I'm like, you're here for me how? Saying I'm here for you is how you're here for me? Because in what other way are you here? Because I'll tell you the truth. There's been many times in my life where I am going through my own personal things, but somebody I care about is going through something bigger than what I'm going through. They'll reach out to me, Mark, this is what's happening to me. I'm struggling because of A, B, C, D, E. And I'll say to myself, I could say I'm struggling too, but at this particular moment, I'm doing a little better than that person. So instead of like being like, hey, you're struggling and I'm struggling, you need help and I need help, I'll say, what do you need? You know, you need someone to listen to you. You need some assistance. If I can assist wherever I can assist, you know. I've done that before. I've had many people who are like, I just want you to be well enough to be able to do things for me. Okay, that was one thing that I was going to say. The second thing is, and this is one of my hardest things to deal with in life, they say never wrestle with pigs because you'll both get dirty and the pig likes it. And I'm telling you, I've encountered this scenario over and over and over again in my life. And even knowing that that's the case, I don't always abide by those rules, and I should. I mean, I'm human, so obviously, if you try me enough, like eventually I run out of patience. But I try my hardest not to. Because here's the thing. The point of that analogy is that some people are coming from a really low place, a really toxic place. A place where they're not really trying to accomplish anything by arguing with you aside from getting you in the mud. They see that you're in a place of happiness or peace, or you're not at the level that they're at, and it's like, my sole mission in starting things with you is to make you feel how I feel. And I can't do that unless I get you to engage with me. And I'll say 75-80% of the time, I'm able to step back and recognize that when people are doing that to me. But I'll say a good 20 to 25% of the time, unfortunately, I give in to that. And then I sit back, and I always am able to say to myself after I sit back, this person won for the day because I engaged. It didn't matter what the topic was. It didn't matter what they were bothering me about. Their sole mission was just to get me upset and engaged. So if you ever find yourself in that position, always consider the source of who you're talking to. I have so much homework to do. I always hate when people say that what you're going through is just as important to you as what someone else has. Yeah, I mean, it's true. It's all relative. One thing that I hate is when, okay, so let's say, this is like just a stupid example, but let's say I get up and I wake up in the morning, I hit my knee on the corner of the bed. And now when I try to walk, my knee is throbbing, so I can't walk. I have to ice my knee, and there was somewhere that I was supposed to go. Hitting my knee on the corner of the bed prevented me from going to that place or being there on time or whatever. And I call somebody up, and I'm like, oh man, I'm frustrated. I woke up this morning, I was supposed to get to this business meeting. I banged my knee on the bed. And then I wasn't able to get to the meeting on time. And now my knee hurts, and it's going to take some time, for my knee to recover. And then the person says something like, you know what? At least you had a business meeting to go to. Some people don't even have any business going on. Some people are homeless. Your knee is going to heal. There's people who don't have a leg. All of these things could be true, right? But it's like this culture of invalidating people's feelings. Somebody told me one time, I was telling them, they asked me how I was doing. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm doing pretty good. There are these certain things that are happening that are a little bit tough or frustrating, but overall, I'm doing good. I kind of dismissed the tough part of what I had going on because I felt like oh, well, there's other people going through tougher things. The person said to me, don't do that, Mark. The thing that you feel frustrated about is valid. And then they said, everything, I don't remember exactly how they phrased it, but like every type of pain that we feel is relative. And this person says to me, if you pinch a newborn baby to that point in their life, that is going to be the worst pain that they have ever felt in their life. When you think about it in a sense of, oh, it's just a baby getting pinched, you know, what's the big deal about that? It's based on, you know, their experience to that point, the amount of pain that they felt at that point, their pain tolerance. It's something that is painful in their life and for their experience. So maybe you can give them all of that other stuff afterwards about the children in Africa and, you know, the people that don't have this and the people that don't have that afterwards. But I think the first thing that you should do when somebody is expressing whatever it is to you is to just tell them, I'm here for you and I'm sorry that you feel that way. There should never be like, oh, I understand you feel such and such, but there shouldn't be a but. That is straight invalidation. Of course, people are suffering, but your problems are still your problems. And as a funny quote that someone reminded me of on the internet in an internet argument, what does that have to do with the price of tea in China? I think that's a very funny way of saying that. What does that have to do with the price of tea in China? That doesn't change the current situation, which is bad enough. The other situation is also crappy. There's also story toppers. Have you ever encountered story toppers? I saw this on a one of those memes that they put together. The story topper is a person who's like, you're like, oh man, I got a flat tire. They're like, huh, I got 2 flat tires. Oh, well, I was walking and I tripped on the sidewalk and I hit my head on the ground. I got a bigger lump on my head than you did. And I got a concussion. Oh, today I got this parking ticket and it was $100. Well, I got a $200 parking ticket. So be grateful that your parking ticket wasn't $200. It's like, this is not a comparison. This is like, this is what happened to me. Why are you trying to top my story? And I'm not telling you that for the purposes of like, oh, woe is me. I'm just literally saying this is a crappy thing that happened to me today. Why are you trying to top the story with a harder story of more hardship? That's a big deal. Don't pinch a baby. Just kidding. I always feel bad for sharing my problems. I mean, I use discernment with that. Because I really do feel that in some cases, I'll give you an example. A friend of mine in the winter time, and a couple of months ago, was telling me how much they hate the holidays because they don't have their mom anymore. Their mom was a person who loved the holidays, and her birthday was around Christmas time. And they used to have a big celebration, two big celebrations, like her birthday and Christmas, and how it's never gonna feel the same. And she goes through like a month, a 2 month depression every year. I had some things going on. I'm not necessarily saying those are lesser things, but I'm just saying there were things that I know that I could deal with, and being a person of support was more important to me. But also, it took me 20 minutes to eat this bagel. But the bagel was honestly, I don't know if the guy made me feel like the bagel was phenomenal, but he was like, my bagels don't come from a factory. He said, these bagels are specially made. I hand roll them. They're not factory bagels. That's what friends are for. Do. Okay, I heard a lot of my situation is it's nothing what you're going through, and I cringe every time. I always tell people what they're going through is just as important. No way, Ma, I only struggle babies. Do you have babies? My friends understand, but people are still like that. Ma's typos. Sorry to cut you short, but I have a history class soon. I'll see you whenever. See you later. No babies, but if I run into one, I'll snuggle it. Yeah, so I guess my message and all that, don't let those people make you feel like you're selfish for taking care of yourself first. Even in what I'm talking about scenario with that friend, it's because I had the capacity at that particular point in time. When I learned about it being okay to not have the capacity to help somebody with their problem, before my dad passed, I'll be honest with y'all, I was the go-to person for everybody. I was the MVP in so many people's lives, to where they're like, I don't know what I would do without you, Mark. They would call me for all their problems. If they needed to borrow money, if they needed some kind of emotional support, I was the person that they leaned on for all those things. So my dad passing was the first time I ever found myself in a spot where I didn't even feel like I had the emotional capacity to put my problems aside for others. It was the first time I ever felt like that, because any other time, it didn't matter what was going on with me. I would throw on the Superman cape and I would just find a way to help whoever needed the help. And that was the one time where I was like, I need the help now. I can't help anyone. And people were still trying to call me and contact me. Hey, Mark, I'm sorry for your loss. Can you help me with this? Can you give me this ride? Can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? And I'm like, this is unbelievable. Like, that I'm in the midst of a heavy grieving, and you're asking me for things and you're needing things from me, like, as if you think that that's okay. Hi, Palaver girl. So I just wasn't responding to them, and a lot of those people were like, man, you're a bad friend. And I internalized that for a little bit. I'm like, man, I guess I am a bad friend for not checking in with this person or not helping this one who I know always needs the help or the assistance, or I feel bad that I can't talk to this person about their issues right now because I don't have the emotional capacity to do so. But with time and distance and self-reflection and talking to certain people and reading up and watching different videos about grieving, um, I was like, you know what? It was never okay what they were asking of me. It was never okay. And I was well within my rights to say no. I say no differently now, though, than, oh, give me 1 second. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm about to go. Yeah, I'm about to go in a few. But yeah, I say no differently. Just to wrap this up, I say no differently than I used to. No used to sound like, oh, unfortunately, I'm not available right now. I have something else that I'm doing. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't give you that ride because I'm going to be driving to whatever. Like there's always some kind of an excuse. There's always some kind of an excuse behind why I said no instead of just no. Sometimes when somebody calls me or texts me and says, hey, do you have a moment to talk? I have some kind of heavy problem going on or whatever. My answer is pretty much, if it's not yes, it's like, no, I don't have the capacity to talk to you about that thing right now. I'll be thinking of you, and when I do have that capacity, I will reach out to you and let you know. And then other times it is just flat out no. It's just no. It's just no. Like, when they say no is a complete sentence, that's what it is. No is a complete sentence. All right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Like, comment, and subscribe. And hit that big old notification bell so that YouTube can sometimes notify you of when I drop my great content. All right, I'll talk to y'all soon.